Hello, my name is Sienna Keene, and in my paper, I did both a literature review and I proposed a randomized control trial to test whether the inclusion of biofeedback and virtual reality exposure therapy treatments would improve outcomes for individuals with agoraphobia. So that is definitely a mouthful of a title, and the literature review served as a background to explain the different parameters in my study and to back up my hypothesis. The study I proposed was definitely the groundbreaking part of my project, as it would completely revolutionize treatment in the future if it checks out as I expect. So as I said, it's a mouthful, so I'm going to go through each of the parameters as I did in my literature review to give you guys a greater understanding of what exactly this means. So agoraphobia is a subtype of phobic anxiety that is relatively common, and it can be characterized as an intense, irrational fear of being in situations in which escape is not readily available. This could be airplanes, crowded areas, or other forms of public transportation, etc. I really wanted to research this because it's such a pressing issue. I mean, these are things that we have to do all the time, and you just have to imagine what it would do to a person to not be able to do these everyday tasks, or if they wanted to do them, have a mental breakdown or be absolutely horrified while they do it. So virtual reality exposure therapy is a technique that immerses the patient in a realistic computer-generated and virtual environment in which they can be exposed to their feared stimulus repeatedly. VRET prevails over regular exposure therapy in many ways, as it allows for more energy efficient and more practical therapy. For example, if you're afraid of flying on planes, you can't go on a plane every week. That's not practical. But VR allows you to feel like you're on a plane, which makes it so much more practical and so much more doable in the long run. It also is more customizable and allows access to more unique and uncommon stimuli. And it also can be done in a more private, safe, and controlled environment compared to its counterpart, regular exposure therapy. So biofeedback. Biofeedback is the addition to virtual reality exposure therapy in which I am testing for. Biofeedback is a technique that involves measuring and providing a report on specific physiological parameters such as heart rate, muscle tension, skin temperature, etc. And the information is measured and collected by wearing wearable sensors, and the information may be displayed on a monitor screen, allowing the individual to see how their body is responding to their stimulus in real time. So my randomized control trial, I outlined a study that compares the effectiveness of virtual reality exposure therapy with and without biofeedback in individuals with agoraphobia in order to determine its effectiveness. Individuals in the study will be recruited from a range of locations to ensure that a sample is diverse in regards to age, race, and ethnicity, and economic status. Half of the sample group will have access to their biofeedback during treatment, and the other half will not. Both participants and researchers will be blinded to group assignment. However, clinicians running the intervention will be aware of the groupings. A number of biofeedback measures will be used to measure participants' anxiety levels during virtual reality exposure therapy, including galvanic skin response, body temperature, blood volume pressure, and it will be done with wearable sensors. So in summary, the outcomes of this study will provide information that is highly valuable to the future of treatments for disorders related to fear. Of course, I'm talking about agoraphobia here, but that's not all that it's limited to. This could be used for phobic anxiety disorders, other forms of them, and possibly post-traumatic stress disorder. And since we are in the midst of a technological revolution, this study is a great example of how we can work with advances in technology and artificial intelligence to advance treatment. This study would also be the first of its kind to apply recent technological advances to the treatment of agoraphobia, and the results may highlight the effectiveness of this enhanced form of treatment. Thank you.